Talking about the Park Fire and that one blowing up, and
yeah,
we were looking on social media. There was a second vortex, basically a fire NATO happening again. And you know, those fires that get so powerful, they create their own weather systems.
Yeah, pyrovortex, so it's just a rotating smoke column. Whether or not there's an actual fire tornado within that, it's impossible to tell until the fires move through and the fire is going to consume any damage that it produces. But just another demonstration of wild fire weather behavior. Kind of makes you feel guilty for enjoying fairly nice weather around the Bay Area.
Nice,
yeah, it's been nice, just warm inland. Let's start though by talking about the Park Fire. I've got an image from one of the wildfire cameras most recently showing that plume of smoke. And this camera is just to the east of the community of Mineral, California. So you can see how close that plume of smoke is to that camera. It means it's getting awfully close to that town of Mineral. And that's going to be a distinct concern because the wind is driving the smoke in that direction. And we're going to be continuing to track that. The winds have been out of the south, blowing straight up the valley and blowing the smoke uphill. Temperatures into the 80s. Those winds not all that strong, but gusting a little over 10 miles an hour from time to time. We'll keep an eye on those conditions. Well, we just are going to see a gradual decrease in temperatures. The warmest day of the week happened today. These are the hottest temperatures you're going to experience for a while. The heat dome is going to start to lose its grip on our neck of the woods over the next few days. As we look outside from the Mark Hopkins Hotel right now, we're not looking at the sky. We're looking at the ground for reasons that mystify me. Temperatures are in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and it is 100 degrees. And Livermore went up 1 degree since the top of the hour, while the temperature downtown has dropped about 5 degrees since the top of the hour. Wide variety of temperatures because of the influence of that onshore breeze. We are going to see some fog trying to spread away from the coast as we head through tonight. Don't think it's going to have a big impact on the A's as they continue their series against the Chicago White Sox, who are trying to avoid their 22nd consecutive loss. I believe that would be an American League record. So potential history at the Coliseum for the White Sox last series at the Coliseum before the A's move next year. Let's talk more about the fog spreading across the bay, but not making much of a push into the inland valleys with the notable exception of the Santa Clara Valley. I think you'll have a little more fog there compared to other parts of the Bay Area that are farther away from the water. And that fog backs up out of all the inland valleys quickly. We should see plenty of sunshine through the rest of the day. And it is still going to be a warm day tomorrow after what's actually going to be a fairly normal start. We'll check out tomorrow's low temperatures, which are going to be mostly in the 50s and 60s. So despite the heat that we had today, always helps to have the map underneath. There we go. We're going to lose a lot of that heat that we built up today. So just the hottest spots where the temperatures got up farther into the 90s, staying in the low to mid 60s, but that's not bad for August. And of course, closer to the bay and into the North Bay valleys, temperatures are going to dip farther down into the 50s by early tomorrow morning. But then we do heat up once again. So we'll drop those off and take a look at tomorrow's forecast high temperatures, which are going to be well into the 80s for the North Bay, but not quite as far into the 80s as you were today. Still into the 90s, farther to the east, 95 for Fairfield, 99 degrees in Antioch, close to, but short of 100 degrees. It's one very important degree. 97 degrees for high temperature in Livermore, with temperatures in the Santa Clara Valley getting up into the 80s and low to mid 90s, up to around 96 degrees in Morgan Hill. But back to around the bay here, where temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s and low 70s in San Francisco and Oakland, which is very, very close to what is normal for this time of year. The 10-day temperature outlook, though, does show a bit of a change that's going to be more noticeable, especially farther inland. So we use Livermore as kind of the representation of those inland temperatures because it tends to have more fluctuation this time of year, and that will be the case over the next several days. Still warm, but not as hot Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then another drop in temperature sends us to below average readings by Monday and Tuesday. And even once we warm back up, very close to normal high temperatures in the forecast by the middle of next week. While the smoke from the Park Fire is going to be directed away from us, the same onshore breeze helping to kind of kick the heat is going to be pushing that smoke produced by the Park Fire away from the Bay Area and just farther off to the east into Nevada, something we'll continue to monitor as we head through the next several days. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. We'll start inland, where temperatures are going to drop off, especially by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday on a widespread basis in the middle portion of the 80s. But there will be some spots that top out a little closer to 80 degrees inland. Temperatures around the bay, they don't change a whole lot. Morning fog giving way to afternoon sunshine. Highs in the lower half of the 70s each and every day, maybe even in the upper 60s for highs by Monday. While temperatures along the coast, hardly any change at all. Plenty of fog to go around for everybody. Fog, low cloud cover, and of course that occasional drizzle, often a daily feature with the forecast along the coast, and that is going to be no exception as we head through the rest of this week. Ryan?
All right, thanks, Paul.